In continuation of the last video on hydrogen bonding of BSc Part 1 Organic Chemistry, we will study the effects of hydrogen bonding in this video. Though hydrogen bonds are of very weak nature, they greatly affect the physical properties of the substances. The first property to be affected by the hydrogen bonding we study is molecular weight. Many times it has been observed that the experimental determined molecular weights of a compound comes out to be higher than its formula weight. This is due to the fact that the molecular associates together due to the hydrogen bonding between them. For example, if we take acetic acid, then the formula weight of acetic acid is 60, whereas the experimental weight comes out to be 120. So it is clear that two molecules associate for a dimer. This is a dimer formed by acetic acid and this is a dimer formed by benzoic acid. If we consider the physical state, then we see that molecules of the compounds in which hydrogen bonds are present come so close to each other that they attain liquid or solid phase. For example, H2O and HF are supposed to be gases at 0 degree centigrade temperature because H2S and He are. But at 0 degree centigrade we know that H2O is solid and HCl is liquid. Next we come to melting points and boiling points. In a group of periodic table, as we move from top to bottom, molecular weight and van der Waals attraction between the molecules of similar type of binary compounds increases. Both these factors increase the melting point and boiling point. So if we take hydrides, then in a group, the first member of the group should have the lowest value for melting point and boiling point. As we go down the group, it should increase. Till carbon group, this is the norm, that is, for carbon group, hydride has the lowest melting point and boiling point within the group. But for nitrogen, oxygen, fluorine group, the hydrides of the first member is much higher than the other members of the group. For example, water, ammonia and HF, they have the highest melting point and boiling in the group. So if we consider the carbon group, then we see that CH4 has the lowest melting point and boiling point, whereas NH3, and we see that as we go down the group, the melting point decreases and the boiling point also decreases except for the last member. And for the oxygen group, we see that water has the highest melting point and also the highest boiling point. And in the halogen group, we see that HF has the higher melting point than the other two members, whereas the last member has a bit lower than the HF. But in the case of boiling point, we see that it has the highest boiling point. So in this graph, we can see that how the melting points and boiling points of the elements from 4th A to 5th, 6th, 7th A. So this graph depicts the boiling point of the hydrides of the elements from 4th A to 5th A. Now we see that nitrogen, argon, oxygen and fluorine, that is, nitrogen, oxygen and fluorine are highly electronegative elements, therefore they have a strong tendency to form hydrogen bond, whereas the other members of their group do not form hydrogen bonds, and even if they do, it is an extremely weak one. So we can say that hydrogen bonding is responsible for the hydrides of oxygen, nitrogen, fluorine to have high melting points and boiling points within this group. Then we come to heats of variation, vaporization. Now for the heats of vaporization, the amount of the energy required to convert 1 gram mole of a liquid into vapor is called heat of vaporization. Since due to the presence of hydrogen bonds, that energy that is required to convert 1 gram mole of liquid into the vapor increases as along with the covalent bonds present in them. Hydrogen bond is to be broken, along with it energy is required to break the hydrogen bond present. So if I may say it again, the amount of the energy required to convert 1 gram mole of a liquid into vapor is called heat of vaporization. Since due to the presence of hydrogen bonds, that energy that is required to convert 1 gram mole of liquid is to be into vapor increases as along with the covalent bonds present in them is to be broken, along with it energy is required to break the hydrogen bond present. Hence heat of vaporization increases and is high for the molecules having hydrogen bond. Very high values of vaporization of water, ammonia and HF supports the view that in these the hydrogen bonds are stronger than those of the other hydrides of the groups. If we consider the stability, then we know that like dissolves like, that is, polar salts dissolve in polar solvents and non-polar or covalent compounds dissolved in non-polar solvents. However, sometimes polar solvents are able to dissolve in covalent compounds, that is, polar solvents are able to dissolve covalent compounds but are unable to dissolve polar compounds. Thus, we see that the dissolution of compounds in polar solvent depends upon the ability to form hydrogen bond. Sugar, detergent and alcohols are covalent compounds which dissolve in water using their OH groups to form hydrogen bonds with water. Ethyl iodide is strongly polar yet unable to form hydrogen bond with water, hence it is immiscible in water because it is okay. Then we come to the sixth point, that is dielectric constant. Dielectric constant of liquids are affected by the intermolecular hydrogen bond. When H of H2O is substituted by CH3 group, dielectric constant value decreases. This indicates that hydrogen bonds are weaker in the resultant compound of CH3OH. For example, water has the dielectric constant value as 78.5, whereas methanol has 32.68. CH3CO NH CH3 has 175.7, whereas CH3CO and CH3 whole twice has 37.8. Here one H is replaced by another molecule of methyl. HCN has dielectric constant value of 120, whereas CH3CN has the dielectric constant value of 38.8. Molecules are polymerized due to hydrogen bonding. So, the dipole moment of the polymer molecule is greater than the sum of the dipole moments of individual molecules, that is, polarity of molecules increases on the polymerization, hence dielectric constant also increases. Next we come to dissociation of carboxylic acid. The degree of dissociation of acids is expressed by the values of the dissociation constants. If the anion of an acid acquires stability due to intramolecular hydrogen bonding, their dissociation constant will be higher, hence acidity will be more. For example, orthohydroxybenzoic acid forms a stable anion after dissociation, and malic acid also forms a stable anion after dissociation, hence these two are strong acids. But metahydroxybenzoic acid and fumaric acid cannot form a stable anion as compared to orthohydroxybenzoic acid and malic acid, hence they are weaker and comparatively to 1 and 2. So, parabenzoic acid can't form intermolecular hydrogen bond after dissociation, and the fumaric acid also can't form intramolecular hydrogen bond after dissociation, hence these two are weaker than 1 and 2. Next we come to viscosity of liquids. Due to the intramolecular hydrogen bonding attraction between nucleus of different layers, a liquid increases. Therefore, the viscosity increases. Stronger are the forces, more viscous is the liquid. For example, liquid water has the viscosity in 10.05 millipoise, CH3OH has 5.97 millipoise, and diethyl ether has 2.3 millipoise. So, we see that water is the most viscous among the three. Then we come to the crystal structure. As hydrogen bonds are directional, the molecules arrange themselves in such a manner that hydrogen bonds of maximum possible strength are formed between them. In doing this, the compound crystallizes in a particular type of crystal structure. For example, NH3 has a versatile structure, HCN has a linear structure, whereas HF, CH3OH and HCOH, they all form zigzag structure. This is all for today. Thank you.